Everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I are happy to welcome some people we haven't seen for a while. The softball coach at CHS, David Ellis. David?
Yes, this is I got my junior here, Kylie Jackson, and then my other junior here, Jerry Ellis.
So you brought some of your team?
Yep, absolutely. Thought we'd let them come and talk a little bit too.
Sounds good. When are you guys going to begin practice? When can you under the IHSA rules?
During the rules, it's March 5th is our actual first tryout / practice. We are right now allowed to have an open workout. So we do that up to 3 days a week. And we can condition and be able to lift weights, run, and then hit in the cages and do some things like that, some stations as well.
All this indoor mostly?
All of it's indoor.
Yeah.
We do it out to high school, and then at the old junior high, they set up for us that we've got a facility that we're able to have hitting nets and tees and be able to get some hitting and cuts in. So we've been doing that since probably around November there. And then we took a break for Christmas, and then when we got back, we started back up into it in January there when the kids went back to school. So.
And then the season begins when?
And then March 31st, we're going to open up this year. The last couple of years we've opened up with Franklin County, but this year we had some changes in our schedule. So we're going to be playing Oldenburg Academy this year in a doubleheader on Saturday, March 31st.
Will that be home or away?
That one's going to be away this year. We've got, I think, a 2-year contract that we usually do with them, and then next year they'll be at home. So we're going to open up down there this year with them.
And how many games you guys play in this regular season?
We're scheduled this year, I believe we're at 27, so 25, and then we play like a little tournament that they play up at Madison Grant towards the end of the season. Basically, it's 4 teams, and then they play like 2 teams play each other, and the other 2 will play each other, and then the 2 winners play, and then the 2 losers will play that game. And then that's their tournament and the winner of that.
Sam, that's a pretty good season.
That's a lot of games.
Yes.
And keeps these young ladies busy, and you got weather to contend with as well during that time. So
yeah, absolutely. That's the thing is that we start March 31st, and then our sectionals is usually the week. It's going to be the week before Memorial Day, which is May 21st, somewhere in that area. So we're looking at 28 games, 27 games in 6 weeks or so of play. So it makes it with the weather and trying to get all the scheduling in. So we play 3 or 4 times a week, and I think there at the end of the week at the end of the season there, we've got like 4 or 5 games in basically 3 days. So, got to be ready to play for it.
Busy time, man. Yep. What time do your games usually start?
Usually during the week, we usually start them around 5:30, 5:30 most time, and then most of the games usually go pretty quick. They'll go from an hour and 40 to 2 hours. Okay. They move along pretty. 7-inning games, regular baseball, high school like baseball does. Is the same rules pretty much apply. But so we.
With daylight savings times, not a problem of not having the field wet.
Yeah, that helps a lot. We, with the daylight savings, that changes here, and I think March 11th, I think, is when that comes up. So that's going to actually help us with our practice right now, because now it's usually dark at 6:30. So with the daylight savings change, that'll allow us to go a little later if we need to as well.
With that many games in a week, do you also have practice or?
Yeah, well, a lot of times we usually will practice. If there's 3 or 4 games in a week and then there's a day off, a lot of times we may just go and hit for an hour and a half or something like that, stretch and throw lightly, and then just mainly hit, get our cuts, make sure we get our cuts in. We try to hit about every day, except for Sundays, obviously, but most of the time we try to get our cuts in. I like to see the girls at least be able to get probably 150 cuts a day. And that's hitting off a tee, light pitching, and soft toss as well.
How long have you been the coach?
This will be my 5th year. So.
And what's your record?
Well, the first year I coached, we won 6 games. We started it, so we won 6 games the first year with 6-20, and then the next year we won, I think, 13 as well, with 13-16, and then the year before, 2 years ago, we was I believe 19-9. And then last year we was 19-10. So we started at the bottom and we worked our way up.
That's the way you do it. What about postseason?
In the postseason, and we've won the last 2 years. We've won our sectional. So we went down, and last year we played Madison in the championship game. We fought back from the beginning. We had to play Greensburg in the very first round. We was down 7-0 at one time in the 5th or 6th inning, we come back and end up winning 8-7 in that game. So it was a tough one. And then after that, we kind of got in a pitcher's drill and a defensive playing game and a timely hits, and we beat Franklin County, which beat us earlier that year twice by 1 run. We ended up beating them by 1 run in the sectional semifinals, and then in the final we played Madison and beat them 2-1.
So you're doing well.
So we've been pretty fortunate. So
How many classes?
there's 4 classes.
4 classes.
Yep, 4
okay.
classes. We're 3A right now in our class for softball. We play 3A, and they every 2 years they do like a success factor of and an enrollment. I believe is how they kind of do that. Is each year they reevaluate everybody, and like if there's a team that has a lot of success in the lower classes that wins state a couple times a year or something like that, and there has been in the past. So they've either bumped up and some people bumped down, and so we've been pretty fortunate with the last 2 years with what we had when sectionals. They just reclassed and they moved our sectional this year, so we're going to have a tough one to go to. We're moving into the new PAL, which was the 3A last year defending champs. So,
Yeah.
but we're up for it. We're excited about it.
Kylie and Jerry, are you guys veterans of this team? How long have you been members of the softball Lady Spartans?
This will be my 3rd year.
Okay.
This will be my 2nd.
Okay, so you were a freshman when you began, right?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of experience. What position do you play?
I'm a pitcher, and I've been doing that since I was 9, so a while.
That's great. And your position, what do you play?
Just starting this year, I am a catcher, so it's something new.
So we got the battery made here.
Yeah, last year this was our outfield. Kylie was our outfielder last year, and she was a big part of our outfield. And then we lost our senior, Brittany Phillips, last year, so we have to have another catcher at this point. So, and Kylie's been nice enough. She's got
Good.
the arm. She's got the arm, and she's athletic for it, so she can handle it. I
She
believe.
can throw them
So,
out a second?
absolutely.
All right.
I believe
That's hard
in it.
work.
Yeah, it's gonna be it'll be a tough chore to learn, but I think we put her in that. We're gonna put her in that position and she can handle it.
Sounds
So,
good. And what kind of facility do you have? There's a new field underway at CHS.
Yep, we just now got it built last year. Right now we're in the process of getting dugouts built. We don't have those done yet. I think our vocational school is going to be doing that, the Whitewater Career Center there, and hopefully that'll be built shortly here in the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks here. And then the other part of it is our outfield has been seeded, so they want to make sure that the grass is mature enough to be able to get on, so they don't tear it up.
Right.
So we're hoping maybe by the end of the season there, last 3 or 4 home games, maybe we can get on it and see what happens there. We're excited. We want to get on it now, but we understand that we got to do some things to get it done and get it ready to go. So,
Sam, we got to find about these girls scholastically. Why don't you give them some questions?
Yeah, talk about school a little bit, and what are you studying in school right now? I know you got general courses, but working toward anything?
I'm in the early college high school,
Uh-huh.
so most of my classes I have, they're challenging, but they're also dual credit, so I'm also getting college credit for them.
That's great.
So when I graduate high school, I'll have my freshman year of college completed.
Uh-huh.
So it's a lot of hard work, but in the end, it's always worth it. So
Absolutely. So do you know where you might want to go to college then?
I honestly have no idea, but I know I want to go for physical therapy.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And maybe play softball in college, or?
If I get the opportunity to, I definitely will.
Okay. Jerry, what about you?
I'm not in early college high school, but I am taking a lot of the dual credits, and but I know I want to go into the medical field, and yeah, I actually committed to Grace College, so I know
Cool.
I'll be going there
Uh-huh.
to study and play softball.
And not too far from home, a couple hours away?
About 3 hours.
3? Okay.
Yeah, so not too bad, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good. Do you participate in any other activities at school?
Softball's my only sport right now,
Uh-huh.
but I'm involved in student council, athletic council. So I like being a part of that leadership in the school.
Uh-huh. And when we came in, you were talking about the set here. You in TV3 or the CHS TV at the high school, both of you.
Yes.
So you like that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Kylie's in the more advanced class because this is my first year with it, but I think we both like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, and you know, with Mr. Kowalski, what a wealth of experience,
Oh, yeah.
and that he can impart to you young ladies. That,
He makes it fun.
yeah. Well, we wish you well in your high school career, and like to get out. Maybe I can get out and watch you guys play some softball too.
I
know
also
I'm-
play volleyball and I do Spartan, so you always got a chance.
Well, yeah. Well, then I've seen you at the bowl then doing the with Spartanette. Sandy, you part of that boy-girl routine?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
A lot of hard work.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. But, we appreciate you guys coming and seeing us tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of the bowl, you know, guys, this is sectional week around Indiana in high school boys basketball. So if you don't mind, we might take a few minutes to talk about the Spartans are doing pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what are they, 20-4, 21?
Right, 20 and 4.
20 and
right.
4. I
Yeah.
mean, that's pretty nice to. You lose what, 4 or 5 seniors there, and
we
then follow
lose
back
them.
up and turn around.
Yes, you
Last year we lose.
5 seniors last year. Half our team was graduated.
Yeah, and then you
right.
turn around and you follow up with 5. You know, that's pretty nice. You
Well,
know?
it's a testament to the coach and the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The credit you got to give.
3
them.
years in a row, 20 wins or more.
3 wins, yeah. So.
And,
It's quite a record.
Yes, it is.
Quite a
Yeah.
record,
And-
right.
yeah, absolutely. His defense is.
Before we talk about the second season, they call the sectional, regional, semi, and the finals, we'll talk about the regular season. Sam, kind of close the door on that. 20
Okay.
wins, 4 losses. Played Northeastern, kind of a weird game, a low-scoring ball game. Talk about Northeastern last week.
Well, Northeastern, I was kind of surprised the way they played. They had
Yes, they got the opening tip.
They got
and
the opening tip,
held
and
the ball.
the big young man, yeah, and they held the ball, wanted to slow us down, which,
Yes.
of course, we can get out and run when we can and when we need to, but their big guy, and his name escapes me right now, they played him way out high beyond
Right,
the
I
arc.
saw him
and
out
I
at
just
almost
didn't-
at the center circle. I
Yeah,
mean,
so,
it didn't make a lot of sense, but
And they had some talent, but as usual, Spartans jump out to a lead, and man, they get a lead, and
that's about.
it's hard to come back
That's
on them.
right.
So.
Yeah.
But Northeastern had some nice ball players. That some of those guys I think could play on a lot of teams. So, you know, we look at them as a 2A school, and I hate all that letter designation and class sports, but it is what it is, and those teams can still be very competitive. So
Yes.
in last several years they played us very close. In fact, a couple years ago they beat us. So
We had an overtime ball game
Yes.
with those kids. So, yeah, it's an interesting last game of the season, it seems like. It
Yeah.
always.
you know, one thing that I thought was really special about that game was Dalton Ailes getting the start as a senior, and you know, he'd been their 12th man and
Right.
hung tough, and his teammates and the coaching staff rewarded him with a start the other night. And I just think that's special. Shows a lot about the character of the leadership of the team.
Absolutely, and when he hit the 3, I thought the Spartan Bowl was going to explode.
Yeah, I did too.
It was quite a sight, quite a scene. Something else happened in that ball game with 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go in the third quarter. A kid by the name of Garrett Silcott, a little guard for the Spartans, who is I shouldn't say little guard, he'll probably take me behind the shed here in a minute, but 6'1" guard, senior, scored his 1000th point as a Spartan.
Yeah, and how special was that? Joined 7 other guys that have done that in the history of Connersville
Right.
High School
Right.
basketball,
Right.
which just amazing. And for us to have 2 years in a row, Grant Smith
Yes.
hit the 1,000-point mark last year, and you think about a team like the Spartans that averages in the 50s, and 2 years in a row they're able to have kids that score 1,000 or more for their career.
And they don't score that many points a game, which is, I
Right.
mean, they don't score in the 70s and
Right.
80s.
Right, yeah.
So it's really amazing that
it is.
we've had 2 players back-to-back to get 1,000
Two very
points.
special players. And
Absolutely.
you know, you talk about Garrett's size at 6'1", he plays so much taller and goes in one-handed dunks, two-handed dunks, it doesn't matter, reverse dunks, he's just all-around great player, and he will play at the next level.
Absolutely, yeah. Here are the players in CHS history to reach the 1,000-point mark in basketball. It will be, of course, Matt Howard with 1,463. We all know what happened to him and what he's doing. Phil Cox, 1,301. Bill Mackey, 1,236. Greg Ellis, 1,213. Bob Myers, 1,102. Zach Miller, 1,093. Grant Smith, 1,033. And, of course, Garrett Silcott hit 1,000. What did Garrett end up with in the game?
He
At
1,000. He
Oh,
didn't,
okay,
I
I
don't
didn't-
even know if he attempted to score after that. Of course, he will hopefully here in the next several weeks will add to that 1,000
Right,
point total.
right,
and
absolutely.
Very well should. But, you look at that list, Fran, and that's a who's who of when you look
Right,
back
I
at
remember
those
two
guys.
of those guys, 72, Ellis and
Yeah.
Phil Cox. Greg Ellis and Phil Cox were in the 72 championship game. Do you know any of the guys from 83 on that list?
No,
Okay.
no, they're not. They are not. And you look back at some of those guys, Bob Myers, that back in the '60s,
Bill Mackey there.
and Bill Mackey. In fact, had lunch after church with Bill Mackey yesterday, and yeah, some great players that have really brought a lot of good entertainment here to the people in
Absolutely.
Connersville.
Well, the fans really respond. What a fan base. I mean, it's the envy of a lot of schools.
Yes, it is.
Another good thing of the regular season, the Eastern Indiana Athletic Conference ended up in the hands of the Spartans. We have to thank the Greensburg Pirates for taking care of East Central for us the other night, 51-43. So they gave the Spartans outright ownership for the championship. Fourth time, not bad.
Not bad at all, and haven't been in that conference very long, and here we are at the top for the fourth year in a row.
Right, right.
And against some good competition. You look at that first year, of course, we tied with Greensburg, and Greensburg was just coming off back-to-back 3A state championships. And you look at the other schools in the conference, Batesville, East Central, Greensburg, always very competitive, and we always, Rushville always plays well against Connersville. So you look at the teams that are in that conference, and you don't want to forget Lawrenceburg and South Dearborn either. But Spartans have done well the last 4 years, and I think opportunities lie ahead. We're losing 7 seniors, but you look at the JV team at 20-4. They went through the conference opponents undefeated at 7-0. So just a little bit of reloading next year.
So it'll be the Spartans here. The standings, the final standings in the conference, the Spartans at 6-1, 20-4 on the season, of course, and as we mentioned, the 4th straight championship. Greensburg at 5-2, East Central at 5-2. Greensburg 18-5 on the season, 14-9 for East Central. Rushville 4-3 in the conference, 8-14 overall. Batesville 3-4 in the conference, 14-8 was their overall record. Lawrenceburg 2-5, and Franklin County were 2-5. Lawrenceburg had a 13-10 season. Franklin County 7-14, and South Dearborn ended up with 3 wins and 4 losses in the conference. 5-18 was their record. So South Dearborn's been struggling for a couple of years.
Yeah, they have, and they've got great facilities down
I'd like to
there,
see them.
I'd like to see them get a little more competitive. They've struggled
too.
in several of the sports.
Yes, they have, and I'm a little surprised down there. Of course, they've got Lawrenceburg, and they're like 10 miles apart, I
Right.
think, something like that. So maybe Lawrenceburg is the one that gets most of the kids that are good athletes or
Should
something.
be, and
I know East Central's right there with them,
East,
too.
yeah, they're
That's
all,
true.
they're all in
all
Dearborn County.
all
So,
them.
and and with today's environment of being able to transfer, I think it's much easier for kids to move around, especially when
Yes.
there's more than one high school in the same county.
Makes a big difference. But as you say, that's at Aurora is where South Dearborn is, and a nice facility.
Oh yeah, it is. Good thing it's setting up on the hill. I've seen some pictures of
Oh,
Aurora the
gee,
last
those-
couple of days, and
River
their
towns are
downtown's
hurting in a
underwater.
Big
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Big
so
way. Here's sports this week at CHS, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Of course, the boys sectional at Richmond. On Saturday, the 8 EIAC co-ed track teams are at a preseason event at an indoor facility at East Central beginning at 8:30 in the morning. Also Saturday, the gymnastics regional will be at Spartan Bowl at 11 o'clock. The Lady Spartans were second in last Saturday's sectional, losing to Richmond by a point, 102 to 101. However, the second place finisher earns a spot in the regional. So we want to wish those Lady Spartans gymnastics the best of luck, the gymnasts. Connersville Middle School this week. Today, the girls' red basketball team is at Cambridge City, and Tuesday, the team is home to Batesville, 5:30 start time in Spartan Arena, and the white team has finished its season. And Saturday, the middle school wrestling team has a home meet with Newcastle at 11 o'clock. In the sectional coming up at Richmond, we have to go to Tiernan Center, 8,100 people. I suppose we'll be there. I hope so, that they fill the gym at Richmond.
Be hard to beat the last couple of years when we filled Chrysler
That's right,
Field House.
9,000 plus people.
Right, but we'll see. I know that Connersville will have a big crowd, as we always do. We'll
Yes.
see what the other schools bring, and if we're fortunate to make it through tomorrow night and into Friday night. I know it's easier sometimes for people to get away on Friday night and then get through that one and make it to the championship game on Saturday night. Yeah, I'd like to see Tiernan Center full. It's maybe not quite as comfortable as we might be if we were home at the bowl.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can here,
If,
but let's fill it up, and it is what it is, and let's take a big crowd.
Let's spend 2,500 more seats at Spartan Bowl, and we'll get a regional.
Yeah.
I mean, simple as that.
There you
I don't
go.
know how many rows that would take. We need Brent Duncan here to tell us how many rows we need to get that many people. But that would be really nice. It's Spartans and Greenfield Central in the sectional opener at 6 o'clock. They played earlier this year. Spartans won 40 to 25. Second ball game on Tuesday will be Pendleton Heights and New Palestine. The byes were drawn by Richmond and Mount Vernon. They'll be playing Friday. Mount Vernon takes on the winner of the Spartan Greenfield Central game, and Richmond will be taking on Pendleton Heights or New Pal in the second game of the semifinals. And the Friday winners meet at 7:30 Saturday night.
Ought to be a good sectional, all
Yes.
those games, and anybody could come out of that. Of course, we want Spartans to do so. You mentioned that we defeated Greenfield Central 40 to 25 during the regular season. Greenfield, I think, has won 3 out of their last 5 and play a very good schedule. They play a lot of Metro Indy teams.
Yes.
And it's not a team, you can't just look at their record.
No.
They're a team that you take lightly. And then you get by them, and Mount Vernon's waiting for us, and we've defeated them in overtime the last 3 times we've played. So it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, well, it's a wide open sectional, I think. I really do. But Spartans have the best record by far, 20-4. So hopefully.
And Sagarin has us favored to win. I think we're in the 30-some percentile chance to win, which is better than being in the 10%.
That's right, but that might be good and it might be bad. You can't tell to be the favorite. Of course, we are going for our 3rd straight sectional championship, and it's a pretty good target on our back.
Oh, yes. Sure is.
Always want to knock off that one.
Yeah.
You want to be the one to knock them off. So.
Yeah, you
gotta
never
play a
know.
little bit better.
You hear upsets all the time when
Yep.
when it comes to this time of the year.
Oh yeah, it's a whole new season.
That's
you know.
right. Second season and everything. By the way, the Richmond sectional winner will be playing the Warren Central sectional winner, and the Warren Central
They're ranked number 1.
sectional. They've
Undefeated.
only won 25 ball games and
Yeah.
lost none.
0.
And 23 of the games are against Class 4A teams.
Wow.
So it's easy to understand with their strength of schedule
Yeah.
why they're number 1. But anyway, in their sectional, of course, it will be the Warriors and Tech, Cathedral, Lawrence Central, Lawrence North, and North Central are the other teams in that one. So I suppose Warren Central will come out of their own sectional, and they will meet the winner from Richmond in the first game of the semi-state.
Yeah, that's
Or the regional,
That's
I'm sorry.
a tough regional, and
Yeah.
we're changing up our regular season schedule a little bit, picking up Lawrence North in an effort to be able to see some of those teams out of the Indianapolis area that we could face in a regional year in and year out.
That's good. I think.
If you want to be the best, you got to play the
right
best.
track.
So.
The tougher teams you play, the tougher you are when comes, and Kerry Brown keeps saying the regular season is just the practice session for the postseason and everything. And other sectionals of area teams that we covered during the winter at Hagerstown. Tuesday, Union County will be playing Cambridge City, and Northeastern goes against Winchester. On Friday, Hagerstown plays Union County or Cambridge City, depending on who wins that ball game. And then Centerville takes on the Northeastern Winchester winner. During the season, Union County defeated Cambridge City 63-58. February the 1st was that game. Centerville lost to Northeastern 54-42 on December 1st, but they won over Winchester 44-37 on January the 31st. And in Greensburg, the other two area teams, Rushville and Franklin County. Rushville meets Batesville Tuesday. Batesville lost to Rushville 68-55 on February the 8th. Franklin County meets Madison Wednesday. Those two teams did not meet on the regular season. So it's just about here, and it should be an exciting week in Indiana high school basketball.
Sure should be. It's, that'll wind down here in the next few weeks, and David will have his girls out playing softball.
That's right.
Spring sports will be here.
Spring sports will be here, and we're all anxious to see the baseball team in action, the track team, you guys in action. So it's going to be a fun spring for CHS.
Yeah, less than a month, you get ready to roll. So it's game on then. So we'll be ready to roll.
How do you guys keep up with your studies when you have so much practice sessions and everything? How do you allocate time?
I get a lot done during school. I try to get as much homework done as possible.
Okay.
And then we'll work on the bus sometimes too. So.
I was going to say, I think the bus rides probably give you a lot of opportunity to hit the books and everything.
Right.
You insist on good grades for these gals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's our first thing. That's our priority
They're
number one.
students,
They're
athletes.
student athletes.
Students always comes first.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we always, we work on with the school, and got to make sure they maintain their grades. If we have issues, we always make sure they come talk to us, and we can get them help, tutors, or whatever we need to do.
The coach's job is a big job. I mean, you're a counselor, and you listen to these kids, and
Yeah, it
you
can be
coach
big,
them, and you put up with parents, and,
Yep.
and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and and that's the thing you do. You put up with parents, but at the same time, I've been pretty fortunate, really, for the last 5 years. I can't complain too much about it. You have some.
Well, the parents understand there's a limited playing time. and
Right.
Only so many kids can play at a time.
Yeah,
and
we try to lay that all out at
Sure.
the beginning of the season, and we make them earn that spot.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure our girls earn what they do, and I think overall the last 5 years we've been pretty blessed with having good girls, good parents. So
Well,
I can't
I
complain
think our
about too
whole
much.
school system, I mean, these kids represent our school and our town. I'm really proud of them.
Yep.
When they, at home and when they go on the road, they're respectful of the other team
Right.
and everything. And that says a lot for the kids' parents and their teachers in school
Yeah.
and their coaches.
Yeah, and that's how we try to leave our games, our ball games. We always want to make sure we leave with a lot of respect, cleaning up our
Yeah.
dugouts, taking care of ourselves, and the girls respecting the coaches and the other players as well.
Yeah, I
You
think
have to.
Sam agrees with me that it's an honor to be associated with Connersville High School.
Absolutely, and for all the bad that we may hear on Channel 6 or in Indy Star about
Right.
our community,
Right.
there's so much more good that's going on,
Right.
Right.
and some of it's
agree.
a big part of it's sitting right behind us
Agree.
here.
That's right. I mean, I think the future's in pretty good shape when you see some of the kids that represent us in sports
Yeah.
and everything. I really do.
Absolutely.
Well, Jerry Ellis and Kyla Jackson, and of course David Ellis, who I think's related to somebody here, aren't you guys?
Maybe one of them here, yeah, Jerry, yeah. I've sat on a bucket many times for a lot of hours and time in for catching her as her being a pitcher and stuff. And both of these girls I've been blessed to have since they've probably been about 9, 10 years old. We
Great.
started with these group, and we got a good group of girls. So
David, congratulations. Have a good season. Gals,
Thank you.
best of luck this season.
Thank
Thank
you.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us here on the Sport and Sports Report here on TV3. Good evening, everybody.